Enough intro today. Do you like the little new move? Yeah. I'm a good dancer with my hands. Anyway, Countdown to Restoration, chronicling the Biden regime in all its illegalities and horror as we count down the final days of his evil, wicked reign. Wonder how the host feels about all this. I don't know. Who is your host? Well, me. Who am me? Danny Thompson. Glad to have you with us. And hope you're enjoying our show. Tell somebody about it. Rumble and YouTube predominantly. Share it. You have my permission to share. Even if it's a joke, people will watch. It's okay. All right, let's move on. A lot to do if I can get everything to move on. All right, what are we doing? Let's start with this. Just a good little tweet. Get my glasses on from Mr. Nick Adams. Things are looking up under Joe Biden. Unemployment is up. Gas prices are up. Interest rates are up. Taxes are up. Great job, Joe. It's not Joe's fault. He doesn't even know what he's doing, and he wants all this. So I guess it is his fault. This is what they want. And then this from Representative Ralph Norman. 1 month in, and let me move it over. And Dems have already stripped the rights of the minority party in the House, kicked a Republican off her committees for words said before holding office, and are rushing impeachment of a private citizen without due process. Where will this end? Well, at total destruction there, Ralph. Yeah, that's what they want. I mean, how many of you thought that the Democrats running Congress were going to be a fair group of people? Just like, we want to help you minorities out. All you poor little Republican minorities, we want to be fair and equitable to you. Yeah, that's what I thought. How about you? I don't know. Some of these people, they have the wildest ideas. I'll tell you some wild ideas, and that is from Secular Dems, whom you can read on seculardems.org. They're restoring constitutional secularism and patriotic pluralism in the White House. Not just the White House. I keep telling you, the House is following this. The Senate is following this. You need to read it so you know, and you need to make your voice heard. Seculardems.org. I'm still hoping to do a show on that come Friday, depending on what other nonsense and horrible acts come out of the regime. All right, where we stop? Nobody knows. Oh, here we go. Now this, as we were explained in the press conference. I won't show you. I don't have a lot of press conference today, which is probably good news. CDC updates coronavirus. Well, it is guidance. Updates coronavirus face mask guidance. Jen said it wasn't guidance. But then she said that when the head of the CDC said that it was safe for teachers to go back without vaccination, as long as you wore masks and social distance and all that stuff, she said that wasn't guidance. That was the CDC director acting in her personal capacity. Jen, I'm just starting to think this. Now, I could be wrong. I'm not making a blanket accusation, but I'm thinking Jen isn't always honest with us. CDC updates coronavirus face mask guidance, endorses double masking. Now, I read much of this, more than I wanted to, because my natural inclination is just say, ha ha, and move on. Now, Jen, I guess I should have done that clip. I don't know. I didn't, now I think I should, but I won't. All right. See, Jen said this really wasn't anything but just a study showing to wear your face mask tighter. But if you read the study, no, it's saying the best thing to do is to wear a surgical mask. And if you can't get that tight enough, then double knot it behind your ears and then wear a cloth face mask over. So once again, Jen's not really being honest. And I'm starting to see a pattern here, but that's just me. And I am sure she is a nice person. She's probably the type of person, if a group's out to eat, she probably controls what everybody gets. I'm just thinking, oh, are you sure you want to get that? It's very high in fat. Oh, I like olive oil on my salad. It's more natural. You know the type. Probably her kids have more rules, but see, that's her business. She can do that. I'm just wondering. Anyway, getting into personal things. And this is a nice little look in the press conference at a couple of reporters there who obviously understand the guidance because they have the medical type mask on with a nice cloth mask over their face, over their medical mask. See, these people understand CDC guidelines. And they're probably the only two reporters that won't die. That's right. Anyway, thought you would want to see how to do this properly, and they look like they know how to do it. That's good masking. Yeah, I like masking with masking tape, but that's just me. All right, where else are we going today before we get into some of our main topics? So let's just make this big, okay? Put it right there in the middle. Biden picked to head CIA, that's the Central Intelligence Agency, runs think tank that took millions from organizations linked to CCP, the China Communist Party. In fact, he took people over from his think tank on tours to meet with other people in China. Had people in China over to his think tank to discuss things with them. I wonder if that could cause a problem later on. Do you think there could be a conflict of interest? Or is it just coincidence? China is not our enemy, as the pretend president says. China is our competitor. We are treating China as a competitor. We'll have to see how this turns out, won't we? Yeah, just very interesting. I don't see anything potentially wrong with that. But again, I'm still trying to figure out if Jen is being honest, so what do I know? I think maybe not. I've got to get that clip. That would be great. There's a movie called Mother, and it is with Albert Brooks, who is quite liberal, so I'm not, But there is a point where Wolfgang Puck looks at him and says, I think you're a big fat liar. I got to find that. That would be so good. So good. I know. No, that might even be better than liar, which I don't think I'm playing today. But today, the thief, get ready. The thief in chief. Where are you, buddy? The thief in chief? Yeah. The thief in chief? Yeah. All right, one more time. Yeah. The thief in chief announces members of the Biden-Harris regime's COVID-19 Health Equity Task Force. Health Equity Task Force. They have the COVID-19 team. The best doctors, the best medical science people in the world, but now they need the Equity Task Force. You know why? Because And there was a Fox clip about how liberal-run states are having a harder time getting people vaccinated than more conservative-run states. You know, in Texas here, they're getting people vaccinated all over the place. But in New York, you know, for instance, New York City a couple of weekends ago, they had all these volunteers show up. And it was on a Saturday. And they were using Saturdays to play catch-up. You know, people couldn't make the appointment, this and that, different things happened. Well, they got you can only do minorities. You can only do specific minorities from specific zones. Like 12 people showed up. You had all these volunteers there, all these people giving up their time. They had a lot of vaccine, and they only got 12 people or something like that vaccinated. Maybe it's 20-something, but they were ready for hundreds. But no, because you could only do certain people of certain categories. Now see, that's equity. That's equity. Equality is, hey, everybody, we got vaccine, come on down. Yeah, this is your vaccine headquarters. Come on, come and get it. First come, first serve. We will let little old ladies and little old men in front. Hopefully the vaccine won't kill them. And children don't even need to be vaccinated yet. So it's just little old men, little old ladies. We don't care what color you are. Come on down. But no, we can't do that because we must have equity. And that means if we can't get everybody vaccinated according to category, we won't vaccinate anybody. Yeah, see, that's fairness. That's real fairness. Let's look at some of the people that are on this COVID-19 Health Equity Task Force. Now, I like this one because this makes sense to me to be on a health task force. Andy Imparato is a disability rights lawyer and the executive director of Disability Rights California, where he has spearheaded advocacy on crisis standards of care and vaccine prioritization in the last year. Yep, he's a lawyer, sues people over disability things, and that's fine. You know, you need that. You got to have sometimes a lawyer, but why is he on the Health Equity Task Force? You know, to prioritize vaccines is pretty easy. Pull up in your little vaccine mobile in a neighborhood and say, come and get it. You know, you could use ice cream trucks. They could drive through the neighborhoods playing music and stop on the corner and everybody come, roll up their sleeves, get a car. It's not hard, folks. It's not hard. Where was it? Georgia or North Carolina? One of the two, where the governor enlisted the help of a Chick-fil-A manager in how to handle the drive-through vaccination process. I mean, put the Chick-fil-A manager on your equity council there, Joe. We don't need the lawyer. We need the Chick-fil-A manager. And they started popping those vaccinations right and left because Chick-fil-A knows how to move a drive-through. All right, who else do we have? You got to love this one. Vincent C. Toranzo is an active student from Broward County, Florida. I'm sorry, I laughed when I read it at first. An active student. Of all the people, of all the help you could get to run a task force, let's find a student. You know what we need on this? A student. and you know, it also says that the task force is diverse, color, race, sexual orientation, all that. I don't know who's gay and who's not on here, but you go out and it's like, we're going to pick the best people to make sure it's all equitable. But first of all, we have to make sure we have somebody from every category. Did you know, speaking of equity, San Francisco School District has a little discussion group or something. Well, they needed another person to be on it, and they wanted diversity, but, because it's all just mothers on it, I imagine, of every different color. Well, there was this dad that wanted to be on it, happens to be white, he's gay, but he's got multiracial children. And they wouldn't let him on because it would not make the council diverse enough. He's a white gay man, which tells you everything you need to know about San Francisco when a white gay male does not mean diversity. Anyway, do you see how crazy this all gets? So now people are upset because it's just women on there. Why couldn't a man be on there? Maybe a white straight man would have made it. Maybe, I know who? Dr. Rachel Levin could have been on the council. That covers everything because he's a white man who I'm assuming is gay, but he's also thinking he's a woman. He should be on there. He should be on this task force because he's part of the Health and Human Services Administration. Why isn't he on there? I don't know. That would have made sense, wouldn't it? All right. Oh, I'm sorry. We didn't finish reading about the student. He is saw a picture of my wife's mouth there. And I am stuck here. Oh, there we go. All right. Picture my wife's mouth, which is a very pretty mouth. All right. And Mr. Tarantoa, I don't know, has experience with the inner workings of municipality functions. I'm not going to get through this without laughing. He serves as the state secretary of the Florida Association of Student Councils, advocating for their inclusion of student voices in their community, such as assistance to foster children and the assurance of student safety amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. Yes, let's get a student on here. Well, there are people that want 16-year-olds to vote. Not one of them must be a parent of a 16-year-old. But anyway. All right, who else do we have? Yes, let's see. Oh, no, wait, that's the student. Hey, pay attention back there. They don't want to see the student twice. All right, who else do we have? Young-Yoon, JD. Young-Yoon is Senior Policy Director at the National Domestic Workers Alliance. Over the course of her career, Yoon has worked in low-wage and immigrant workers' rights issues. Yeah. A litigator and everything, sues people. I don't know. I don't understand it, but you know, Mr. Biden, in all of his lack of wisdom, thinks we need that to get everybody vaccinated. And, they're really catching flack in the White House because the vaccination process, which everybody knows should not be this hard, is so hard. Again, just send some vaccines out and some needles and let's get it done. But no, got to make sure. And there's an Indian tribal chief on here, a Native American tribal chief on there. There are some doctors. There are some professors, teachers of medicine and stuff. And there's even a nurse on there with the student. Yeah, that's really helpful. I'm feeling healthier already. How about you? All right, what else do we have here? Oh, let's look at equality. The state of being equal, especially in status, rights, and opportunities. Again, here's a vaccination. Everybody come down and get one. That's equal. We'll pick you up if you need a ride. Okay, that's equity. That's equity. But we're not just going to have a time where only certain people of certain races, certain income levels can have it. Let's just have it. Let's just get everybody vaccinated. Everybody's going to die if we don't, right? We can't get back to normal. Why weren't they just vaccinating everybody when they walked into the Super Bowl? When I was in basic training, you took a step. You got, I don't know how many shots. I don't know what I got in me. In one arm with a gun, and then you took another step, got it in another arm, took another step, got it in both arms at the same time. Then we were walked out and said, okay, you got 5 minutes to let your arms rest, and we're going to go out and kill you. I mean, just line people up, walk them, knock on up, go to apartment complexes, pull up. This isn't hard, people. All right, what else do we have? Oh, equity. Our old definition of equity: a system of law originating in the English Chancery and comprising a settled and formal body of legal and procedural rules and doctrines that supplement, aid, or override common and statute law, and are designed to protect rights and enforce duties fixed by substantive law. In other words, it's a workaround because that law is not fair to you. So instead of changing the law, we're just going to have equity. Now, let's look at this. I thought this was interesting for those of you still not understanding equity. All right, let's get it big so we can all read it. The difference between equality and equity must be emphasized. Oh yeah, we'd like that, wouldn't we? Although both promote fairness, equality achieves this through treating everyone the same regardless of need. So, if you have no food and I have some food, equality would be if people are passing out food, we both get a box of food. All right? Now that seems like, well, you've got food, you don't need it. But they're passing it out to everyone, we're equal, okay? How do I know why they don't have food? Maybe they all ate it up one night, pigging out. I don't know why they don't have food. Now, obviously, we're not opposed to the people who don't have food getting more food than the people who have. We understand that. But see, they don't want to stop there. They want to keep expanding it until the playing field isn't leveled. It's higher on the people who need equity side. See, their idea of equity is that, okay, you've been up and you've been down. Now we want you up and you down. Now, but the laws of equity don't even say that, but you have to know their intention. If it wasn't that, why won't they shut down the borders and stop low-wage earners from coming into the country to take jobs from other people who are here, which we will touch on in a moment. All right. Where did we leave off? Although both promote fairness, equality achieves this through treating everyone the same regardless of need, while equity achieves this through treating people differently dependent on need. However, this different treatment may be the key to reaching equality. So, somehow we would all have the same. What does that sound like? Oh, I know a place. Yeah. No, I know a governmental term, communism. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember that. It seems like I studied that in school once while I was living through it during the Cold War. Referring back to the student example, fairness through equality would mean giving all students the same level of support. However, those who need more support beyond this initial level to succeed would therefore not have equal opportunities to those who do not. Okay, again, they use examples. You say, well, yeah, first of all, the smart kid isn't asking for any help, is he? I mean, see, they use examples that really you look at and say, that doesn't even make sense in this. See, everybody should have the same rights to get help, but you don't just say, but those of you who are of a certain type, you get more time. I've only got this much time for those of you who should know it, but I have this much time for those of you who I think shouldn't know it. See, that's discrimination. That's not equity. That's discriminating. You're already characterizing people as not knowing something. So you have to be careful, because in the classroom it looks one way, but in reality it turns out to be another. All right. By unequal, I do not mean providing someone with less, but simply providing more to those who need it. More to those who need it. So not less, but more. Again, but this isn't what they are wanting to do. They are providing more and wanting to provide less. So the standard definitions do not even work here. And again, the Supreme Court has ruled that the only systemic equity that the government can take care of is that within the federal government. Again, by unequal, I do not mean providing someone with less, but simply providing more to those who need it. So, you know, I'm really hungry. Teacher, can I have seconds? Oh, yeah, because you're really hungry. I'm hungry too. Are you really hungry? No, then you can't have seconds. You have to be really hungry. You know, you can just keep going all through this if you want. And again, on some levels, it's right. You know, if you're passing out money for the end of the month and somebody's got all their, but even that doesn't work, because if you're just doing it, do it. You know, everybody should get a $2,000 COVID check because they shut us down and wouldn't let us work. It doesn't matter if you made $300,000 last year or not. You might not have money right now. Just because you made it one year doesn't mean you have it now. But see, their goal isn't equality at all, making everybody equal. It's equity. And that is disturbing because it never turns out well. All right. Now let's keep moving on. Let's go to this little exchange. What is this? What is this? What is this? You just got to hear this one.
Yes, please. In India, Twitter has shut down hundreds of accounts from people who criticize the government. Is the White House concerned about this crackdown on free speech by the Modi government? And to what extent does this impact the U.S.-India relationship and your administration's Indo-Pacific strategy?
I know that my colleagues at the State Department have spoken to this more extensively, and I would certainly point you to them. Of course, we always have concerns about crackdowns on freedom of speech, freedom of expression happening around the world, and when it doesn't allow people to communicate and peacefully protest. But I would point you to the State Department for more specifics.
Oh, yeah. We want people to have freedom of speech. They shouldn't be doing that, but I'll point you to the State Department because we feel people should have a chance to talk even on Twitter. Unless it's here in the good old USA. I mean, some things you just look at and you're just like, do you people hear what you're saying? Oh, but these are not right-wing extremists in India. Oh, because here in America, we want the truth we want. We don't want just people having freedom of speech. We want people speaking the right things. But in India, they should be able to say what they want, but we're not going to press it too hard because we like the Indian government and we know what they're going through. You got to love the hypocrisy of it all. Mendacity. All right. Houthis attack Saudi airport days after Biden removal from terror list. Which Jen doesn't know that it happened. Anyway. And also days after stopping, helping to arm Saudi Arabia to fight them. The Saudi-led coalition fighting against the Iran-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen has condemned what it called a Houthi terrorist attack on the Aba airport in Saudi Arabia Wednesday, which set fire to a passenger plane there. Yeah, I mean, these are good people. You know, we gotta protect them at all costs. And you know, the administration never argues that they're Iranian-backed. All right? So, it also follows Sunday's warning from the State Department that the Houthis must stop attacks on civilian targets. That the Houthis must stop attack on civilian targets. And that was just issued Sunday. Well, they don't care. They don't care. But boy, we've got a strong word for the Houthis coming from Jen in just a moment. The Saudi-led coalition said Wednesday the Houthi attack on Aba International Airport caused a fire in a civilian plane, which has now been brought under control, the Saudi-owned Al Arabiya television station reported. Let's see, do we have any more on this? Attempting to target Aba Airport and threatening civilian travelers is a war crime, the coalition said in a statement. We are taking all necessary measures to protect civilians from the threats of the Houthis. It's a war crime, but we just issue warnings. Yes, because why? Because they are Iran's people. We can't do it. They have a right to go kill civilians. Yes, but Jen, tell us what we're doing about it, please. We are all waiting from the strong response from the Biden regime.
The Iranian-backed Houthi rebels attacked Saudi Arabia today in Abha. The coalition called it a war crime. Does this undermine the president's effort to end the war in Yemen? And are you putting too much faith in the Houthis rebels' intention to get into the negotiation?
Well, thank you, Nadia. Let me first say that we condemn the Houthi attack today at the Aba International Airport in Saudi Arabia, a civilian airport. The attack coincides with Special Envoy Lender King's first trip to the region and his efforts to bring a lasting peace to Yemen that will ease the suffering of the Yemeni people. The Houthis, meanwhile, continually demonstrate a desire to prolong the war by attacking Saudi Arabia, including attacks on citizens. And we will continue our diplomatic outreach and engage with various stakeholders, including members of Congress, humanitarian aid organizations, the UN Special Envoy, and others to bring a negotiated settlement to end the war. As President Biden has said, we are stepping up our diplomacy to end the war, as he said last week at the State Department. And the main focus of our efforts will continue to be on diplomacy to end the war via the UN-led process, to impose a ceasefire, open humanitarian channels, and restore long dormant peace talks. We believe that remains the best path forward.
Thank you.
Yes, that remains the best path forward. Boy, she strongly condemned that, didn't she? Do you think it scared them? I think they don't really care. I think they're rooting for the Houthis because they're rooting for Iran. Oh, Danny, that's not nice. Do you really feel that way? Yes, because that's what they're showing. They attacked the same day our special envoy got there. They're not even part of the talks. They don't even want to talk, but we cut off aid to the Saudis. We cut off weapons to the Saudis in fighting them. They can't buy it. We weren't giving it to them. They can't buy it from us anymore. Yes, we make sense. Okay, on immigration, and then we've got some fun stuff, maybe, after this.
And I know on Monday you talked about kind of working out the priorities, national security threat, recent entries. There's more reports of, growing number of people arriving on the border. How closely is President Biden watching this? Obviously, attacking the root causes of this migration is something that he knows well, that he's worked on for a long time. But what about in the short term? What steps are going to be taken to confront this issue? Because more incoming, so we don't have a repeat of things that we've had in the past, which obviously President Biden is very familiar with.
Sure, he's certainly following it closely, but obviously defers to the leadership and the guidance of his Secretary of Homeland Security, Ali Mayorkas, who has now confirmed been in office in his role for just over a week now. Obviously, comes to that job with a great deal of experience working on these issues, including during challenging times. But since you gave me the opportunity, I mean, one of the things we are certainly doing is communicating that due to the pandemic and the fact that we have not had the time as an administration to put in place a humane, comprehensive process for processing individuals who are coming to the border, now is not the time to come. And the vast majority of people will be turned away. Asylum processes at the border will not occur immediately, will take time to implement. And as DHS and CBP have said, when long-term, this is, there have been incredibly narrow and limited circumstances where individuals have been have come in to the country awaiting for their hearing, but the vast majority have been turned away, and so this is not the time to come. And this is obviously an emotional issue for many of us who've worked on this in the past, for the president himself. But we need time to put in place, and partners to put in place, a comprehensive process and system that will allow for processing at the border of asylum seekers, but also providing a pathway to citizenship for immigrants who are in the United States.
Yes, and I'm sure all the illegal immigrants heading to the country will give the same attention to our telling them not to come as the Houthis did in our telling them not to attack anymore. You think? You think? Huh? Oh no, we've got someone in charge now who has great experience in letting people in and trying to keep them in. Citizenship, path to citizenship for 11 million illegals. Telling you better be calling. I don't know how much longer Mr. Biden is going to be in, but they're not going to stop. Have some more in Godformation time for you on some of the things they're trying to get him to do. And now then, if we have time today, let's go back to the fun days of Schoolhouse Rock.
And last, the three-ring government.
Gonna have a three-ring circus someday. People will say it's a fine one, son. Gonna have a three-ring circus someday. People will come from miles around. Lions, tigers, acrobats, and jugglers and clowns. Tightrope walkers, pony riders, elephants, and so much more. Guess I got the idea right here at school. Felt like a fool when they called my name, talking about the government and how it's arranged, divided in three like a circus. Ring one, executive, two is legislative, that's Congress. Ring three, judiciary, see it's kind of like my circus. Step right up and visit ring number one. The show's just begun, meet the president. I am here to see that the laws get done. The ringmaster of the government. On with the show! Hurry, hurry, hurry to ring number two. See what they do in the Congress. Passing laws and juggling bills. Oh, it's quite a thrill in the Congress. Focus your attention on ring number three. The judiciary's in the spotlight. The courts take the laws and they tame the crimes, balancing the wrongs with your rights. No one part can be more powerful than any other is. Each controls the other, you see, and that's what we call one's job is more important. The audience is kinda like the country, you know, keeping an eye on their performance. Ring one, executive. Two is legislative, that's Congress. Ring three, judiciary. See, it's kinda like my circus. My circus, I'm gonna have a three-ring circus someday. People will say it's a fine one, son. But until I get it, I'll do my thing. With government, it's got three rings.
Yes, we learned how the Constitution set up the government. We should send this to every member of Congress. I like how Congress arrives in the little clown car because it fits. Now, if you notice, now is this right, Joe? Is that the way it works? There's the head nod. Do it again. There's the head nod. Yeah, that's it. All right, Joe. We got him on our side. The Senate in the unconstitutional impeachment trial of the rightful president, Donald J. Trump, U.S. Senate votes Trump impeachment is constitutional. Now, where in the Constitution, and again, I realize we are deviating from our original mandate to just chronicle the Biden regime, but this seemed important. Where in the Constitution does it give the right to the Senate to decide what's constitutional? In fact, it takes that power out of Congress's hands and gives it to the Supreme Court or to the courts. But the Senate voted it's constitutional. It's like asking your parents, how come? Because I said. Why is this right? Because I said. And we're standing for it. Have you called your senator saying, you can't vote if something's constitutional? You're an elected official. You're a partisan hack. But no, it must be okay. The Senate voted, and even some Republicans voted for it. Well, there can be Republican idiots as well as Democratic idiots. Idiocy is not confined to party. But I don't care if they're all the greatest minds in the world, which we know that does not describe our current Senate of either party. They do not have the constitutional right to decide what is constitutional. You wouldn't give that to the law-making people. Now the Senate shall have, this is from the Constitution, the Senate shall have the sole power to try all impeachments when sitting for that purpose. They shall be on oath or affirmation. When the President of the United States is tried, the Chief Justice shall preside. Not the guy who's been in the Senate the longest. And no person shall be convicted without the concurrence of 2/3 of the members present. Nowhere does it say, and the Senate shall vote to see if it's constitutional or not. Do you realize what is happening here? The Constitution isn't just being shredded, it's being rewritten. I don't know why it matters to have a copy of the Constitution anymore. The judicial power, which includes and is mainly deciding if all acts are if everybody's following the Constitution. Let's just put it easy. The judicial power of the United States shall be vested in one Supreme Court and in such inferior courts as the Congress may from time to time ordain and establish. Not in the United States Senate. They do not get to decide what is constitutional. Go back to Schoolhouse Rock. Come on, people. The judges, both of the Supreme and inferior courts, shall hold their offices during good behavior and shall, receive money and all that, get paid for it. Let's go to the next one. Because this is the way it's supposed to work. The judicial power shall extend to all cases in law and equity. not Biden's equity, but the law of equity, arising under this Constitution, the laws of the United States and treaties made, or which shall be made under their authority, to all cases affecting ambassadors, other public ministers, and consuls. I would think the president falls under one of these. To all cases of admiralty and maritime jurisdiction, to controversies, to which the United States shall be a party, to controversies between two or more states, between a state and citizens of another state, between citizens of different states, between citizens of the same state claiming lands under grants of different states, and between a state or the citizens thereof and foreign state citizens or subjects. We just read it. Did you hear the Senate mentioned in any of that? No. All of that belongs to the Supreme Court and the inferior courts, not to the Senate. I mean, the whole thing's unconstitutional anyway, but then they just heap insult onto injury. Okay, now we're deciding if something's constitutional. What is that like? I mean, that's like when the sports commissioner, you appeal to the sports commissioner, to the one that made the rule. Oh, we're going to appeal this to the commissioner. Oh, who made the rule? Oh, the commissioner. Another movie. Never mind. I won't do that movie. I should do it, but I won't. I mean, you appeal to the person who decided the rules. Oh, yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, this is good. We set it up. It's all, oh, you can trust us. It's fair. It's right. It's constitutional. Really, really, really. Then why don't we just get rid of the Supreme Court? Because now the Senate can decide what's constitutional. Do you see where this is leading, ladies and gentlemen? And everyone in between? Now, Congress gets to decide what's constitutional. Does that not scare you? Twitter gets to decide what is acceptable speech, and Facebook, so why not? Why not just throw everything out? What does it matter anymore? We've got a thief. The thief in what? Let's do it one more time. The thief in chief. Oh, yeah, he was dramatic at that time, wasn't he? The thief in chief in the White House who shouldn't be there. So what does anything matter? That's where we're going. Call, pray, yell, scream, do whatever you have to do. Just don't march on the Capitol, young lady, young man. That is bad. Go loot. And I'm kidding. I'm being sarcastic. They're saying because President Trump said to fight like hell. Go fight like hell. Well, in sports you say kill the opponent. Nobody means to go actually down there and kill them. In politics all the time, fight, make your voices known, call, get loud. And it's all so ridiculous and it's so evil and they know it, but everybody's going along with it, but because, it happened to us. It's unconstitutional. But what does that matter? Remember this, Market Watch, February 20th. I'm not sure. I'm just letting you know. Market Watch, February 20th. Okay? All right. And so what else do we have here? We're almost done. We have our exclusive God formation. Yes, we do. And where are our fireworks? Here they are because everybody loves the fireworks. Don't you? Red, white, and blue. You notice that. We're patriotic here. Yes, fireworks for the God formation. And we have some interesting stuff here for you. Let's see. We talked to you yesterday about Dr. Evil coming. Is that it? Is this where we're going? Or are we over here? Okay, over here. The director, the teacher, the teller, the reaper. Who comes? The director comes. to direct, but he cannot put the show together. The ship comes and the slip comes, and it is all over them. So, see, it's already been heard by some, but there's been some things said. It's just being covered up, but it's going to be uncovered. Jen, our friend Jen, is tired already. There is just too much. She is just, breaking down. There's no real friends to help her. Everybody's like, no, this is your job. And she knows the president is damaged and needs help. She is alone in the fray because she's the public face. Well, you took the job, Jen. Resign. Get out of there. Bye. See you later. All right. Susan Rice, look for her return. Why? Because they use Susan Rice when they're trying to cover up something and give a different narrative on it. Look for Susan Rice. And I know right now she's over making sure there's equity in all branches of government. Then why didn't she announce the equitable, the task force on COVID-19 equity? Well, there's something, and watch for her. The minute you see her being sent out to everybody, they're covering something up. Remember Benghazi? That's her job. That's her payoff, being in the White House staff right now. And plus, she's watching over the Biden regime. She's one of the watchers. Watch Susan Rice. She's watching you. All right. The Speaker, Nancy Pelosi, is pushing for more executive orders. So is Chuck Schumer. By the time anyone sues, it will be too late to stop them. Unlike under Donald Trump, who a suit would stop everything. Like DACA, it'll just continue. See, they know, even though he's here illegally, they know that the courts will back them up on some levels. There is a big struggle between those that want law and those that want quick action. So they are pushing for more and more executive orders. Congress doesn't even want to have to do anything because so many of the things they want done, it may get them voted out of office. So putting it all on old Joe. All right. Money is becoming an issue because there's people wanting their pay. Money, many want in on it. And, they see what the regime is doing. The pipeline in Afghanistan, they know there's payoffs. All the people with connection to China, they know money's flowing. They want their share. People want in. It's like buying into a good stock. I'm here. I'm invested. I want my money coming, baby. Yeah. The sharks smell the blood, and they want the cash. Conversation in the Oval Office. The pretend president, head in his hands, he is saying that if they would just give him a chance, I could be one of the greatest ever, the chief of staff. Mr. President, it just doesn't work that way. We have to follow their lead or we won't make it through. President, I know, or the pretend president, I just thought it would be different, chief of staff. So did I. It tells you everything you need to know, ladies and gentlemen, and you heard it here. Not everybody's going to report on this because not everyone has such good inside information, but we have it here. Where do we have it? On Countdown to Restoration. Thank you for watching. You notice we did update the episode number. We were on top of things today. Let us know how you feel about the show. If you thought it was good, if you liked the information, if you agree, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for watching. Please share.